What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Due to Bet Daily for yet another week. We've got back-to-back profitable weeks going, Aaron. Do you feel the pressure?
No, I don't. No, I'm confident. Now, listen, I'm just excited. We got another week. I'm live from some apple orchard somewhere here in New York, so that's kind of cool. I told them, hey, give me 15 minutes. They already showed up at the car once, so it's like, guys, 12:15, we'll be fine. So anyway, no, I'm excited. I think we're gonna have another really good week of racing after having one last week as well.
Yeah, excellent week again. We've obviously got Del Mar going. We got Saratoga going. Before we jump into that, it is called Due to Bet Daily. We are going to talk a little about sports. I got to ask you about your boy, Kyler Murray, who signs a new contract, but has a clause in it that he has to study film for at least 4 hours a week. What do you think the over-under the average NFL quarterback studies film a week is? It's got to be like 25 or 20, right? Like 4 hours is wildly low.
I think it kind of suggests what the problem could be with Kyler Murray.
4 hours,
right? I wasn't shocked that they put some kind of clause in. I was shocked at how low that was. And I think I actually heard an interview with Lincoln Riley once, and he talked about the differences between Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. And of course, he wasn't going to say, well, Kyler Murray is a freaking just super athletic freak and Baker is not, So he said the difference is with Kyler, it's just roll the ball out, let's play. And with Baker, he was in the film room for, 20, 25 hours. So that kind of, you see him struggle like later on in the season once teams kind of adjust to what their game plan is, what they've done. And you see his numbers every year go down. It's kind of like, so he's not doing the homework, basically.
Well, okay. I mean, excellent point. Jason brings it up in the chat here. This is like something my parents made me do when I was 14, when I was literally trying to have to do my homework. You assume he watches zero film. If they had to put 4 hours in the contract, it was zero last year, right?
Somich, I would think you and I watch 4 hours of film.
Easily. I definitely watch 4 hours worth of NFL games the week after they've been played.
If you are sitting there right now and you watch the Red Zone, you've watched more film than Kyler, I'm guessing, by this contract status.
Well, I watch every game at least once on the fast forward feature, which is phenomenal on NFL.com. I guarantee you I watched more football than Kyler Murray after finding out that was a condition in his contract. It's just wild to me.
I wouldn't bet against you after what this came out. And it's crazy that they had to put it in the contract. It's like, all right, we're going to give you these millions and millions of dollars. Please, for just 4 hours a week, can you please watch the film?
I want to know, is this like detention? Does he have to sign in and out of the film room now? Like, does he have a little punch card that you get when you go into work, to make sure to track this? I want to know. This is so freaking ridiculous to me that you had to put this in there when you're giving someone $200 million. You had to put 4 hours of film a week.
And he's the quarterback. He's an NFL quarterback. And that's, I just think this guy's got all the talent in the world, but I think like people that are that talented at something they do, sometimes, a lot of the time, let's be honest, they don't do the prep work. They don't do the down and dirty stuff. And so it doesn't sound good there in Arizona. But hey, if you have to put that in a contract and you're still paying him that kind of money, like, whose fault is that, really?
Well, that's me. I would have traded him. Well, honestly, after reading that, I don't want to start a franchise with him. But Cliff Kingsbury, your coach, so whatever. Do what you want to do here, right? You couldn't win at Texas Tech with Patrick Mahomes. You're going to go ahead and win in the NFL with someone who won't watch film?
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Let's switch over to horse racing because that's why everyone's here after we've made fun of another Oklahoma quarterback here. I think that's the second time we've done it in 3 weeks. Sorry about that. But hey,
okay.
So, easy shots. You got to take them. Let's talk a little about the honorable miss. We've got a grade 2 here at Saratoga running the fourth race of the day. They put it outside the pick 6. It's in the right smack in the middle of the early pick 5. Because we only have a 4-horse field, but we've got a couple good ones in here. We're going to Bella Sophia return to the track where she kind of had her coming out party pop with a 101 buyer last year at Saratoga, winning the grade 1 test, going 7 furlongs. Frank's Rockette right to her inside from the Bill Mott barn. You got Kamari all the way to the outside for the Wesley Ward barn. So you got a 4-horse field, but 3 of them kind of interesting here. You're probably going to have a little bit of a heater up front. Did you end up with Bella Sophia? Did you think it was that simple? Did you end up spreading around here?
Yeah, with the sequence and how it's going to play out in that early part of it, I kind of thought I needed to single Bella Sophia in this spot. I just think she's a little bit better. Frank Charquette almost beat her 2 races back, but that was Bella Sophia's first race off the bench. I thought she improved in her next start. I think she'll improve again here. And remember, her best ever race came over this racetrack, right? Last year in the test. She was fantastic. So I singled her. Frank Charquette, it's been a long time since that horse has won. So I wasn't really worried about her. Kamari's interesting, but she just hasn't been very good here lately. I'm even excited to see Emma Devil run. This Ohio bred is one that I've watched a lot at Thistle and at, I think, Mahoning Valley, I think she was at. So I'm interested to see her as well. But in the end, I do think Bella Sophia is going to get it done.
So I agree with you. Do you take a shot in the exacta here? Do you try and play a cold exacta 2-4 or 2-3, run Frank's Rocket out of the top two? Because then you get a little bit decent of a return.
That's what I'm going to do. 2-4 straight. I do like Kamari. I think Kamari, I'm not going to call her the class of the field because Bella Sophia is there, but I do think she's classier than Frank's Rocket. She's been in and won tougher races than Frank's Rocket. So I'm going to hope that whatever's going on with her form, it just hasn't been great. Although she's been in tough races, like I said, I think she's going to run better today. Yeah, so I'm going 2-4 straight.
I also like the fact that Kamari is the only closer in the race. You have three horses that are going to go up front, or Bella Sophia really can sit off the pace. So I would expect Bella Sophia sits off the 1 and the 3, but will be closer to the lead than where Kamari will be coming from. So you could definitely see a scenario here where, Bella Sophia kind of runs away from those top two, and Kamari comes and picks up the pieces for second. And you get a decent exacta home. Jump ahead to kind of, I guess, the late feature here. Real quick, and that's going to be the 9th race. We got an $80,000 N3X optional allowance race over the turf. Your favorite is High Opinion on the rail, but you've got a couple horses in here, Amalfi Princess and Phantom Vision in for Mike Maker. You got Messidor in here for Christophe Clement. I thought this was a pretty interesting race. I do think High Opinion is the best horse. This was probably the most likely single in the latter half of the card outside of the absolutely ridiculous 8th race, which I think a lot of people are going to be singling a very short price Ogotten Girl, who is a very vulnerable favorite in my mind. How deep did you go here in this N3X allowance on the turf? Did you think it was simply High Opinion to move on, or did you spread it out a little bit?
I do like High Opinion, and I get it on that horse, but I think you got to spread a little bit here. I really like Messidor for Christophe Clement. I think that horse is going to run pretty well. The number 4 Amalfi Princess. When you think that horse is maybe not going to win, that's usually when she does. I went 3 deep. I think it's going to be a kind of a tough spot in here. High Opinion coming off a nice win. I got Flavian Pratt aboard for Detro having a great year. Going to be tough, but I do think there's going to be, there's going to be 2 or 3 horses that have got a shot to win this one.
Yeah, I was originally 1-3-4. I ended up singling the 1 because I went deeper in other spots in the pick 5.
Yeah.
I think the 3 has a shot at wiring this field stretching out for Mike Maker. I think it's interesting that he has it in with Amalfi Princess. So I think the 3 has a little bit of a price play with Gaffleon on top. It's a horse that's going to stretch out and probably make the lead in that spot.
That's what a lot of people, you talked about, hey, because of the sequence, I did this. When you're playing pick 4s and pick 5s, sure, handicapping who you think's going to win the race, strong opinions, that's where you start. But then it's like, okay, what can I get away with here if I do this here? And who can I eliminate here if I do this? And I have coverage where other people don't. We talked about it before we got on the air. That's really the key, right? And so that's, like you said, it's a good point. Maybe you're not just like, wow, I think this horse is just a beast, but it's like, okay, if I single here and I'm confident, well, I've got bullets in other places.
Yeah, I'm mixing and matching in my later sequences. So my pick 5, pick 6, and pick 4 plays will all be different in this race. There'll be different depths to it based on where I'm taking shots and taking stands in other spots. And that will obviously adjust it as the day goes by. It's just kind of, but I think this is one of those races where I do think this is the most likely winner of the latter half of the card. But that does not mean that to me, it's like a stone cold, hey, you got to be singling this horse. Yep. The last race of the day is a tough one as well. You've got the 8 Dover Dreams, who's faced Nest and got us a fire in her 2 first races. Now she's coming back, switching barns at a 12-1 price. Shout out to my father who pointed that one out. Aquila Moon, who ran really well first time out at Churchill, chasing a horse going a very, very fast pace, ends up holding. So the 11 I thought was interesting. And then the 6 course runner had a little bit of a trip trouble and it should improve your second out. I thought this was one of the races you had to spread. I didn't even bring up the 2 or the 3 who are probably going to be your favorites here. How deep did you go in this last race?
Yeah, I think you go as deep as you can here. I'm 5 deep in this spot. I like the horses you talked about. It does feel like a race too, like you didn't mention the 3, but Liquidity Provider, first-time starter that gets IRAD aboard. And we had another Kalleward horse that didn't get IRAD in a different race that we were talking about, but now you get them. You kind of look at the works, you kind of look at the breeding. It's like this horse could probably win at first asking. Draws a really tough assignment. You're right. I think no matter where you're going short in the legs before, this is going to be one where you're going to have to spread unless you really I've got some inside info on this 3 that's getting ready to run, because the 2's a nice horse. Like I said, the 11 ran really well. It's going to be awfully tough to win this thing. And Shug's a trainer with the 2, Adam's Angel, that I kind of glossed over. Runs off a layoff, but he's not bad off layoffs, and it's also a second start for Shug, and that's where you see a big improvement there. So, yeah, you have to spread in that one.
Two winners next out came out of that race as well. The only 2 horses that have not run back from that race, ironically, are the winner and the second place horse. So would have been great to see the winner run back just to kind of get a little better idea of what you were up against. But that was a Jonathan Thomas horse who was an expensive purchase, ended up winning that day, going wire to wire or gate to wire at 6-1, and looking pretty impressive. So you got to think that the 2 horse Adam's Angel, who was the 9 last time out, if you want to watch the replay, has a shot. I'm kind of bummed the 6 Alessia, and I actually texted you about this horse, scratched out of this race. At some point, go back and watch the replay on this horse. I stabled this one up, broke really poorly at Churchill, rushes up for an 0 for 50 Nick Zito. So not having a good year at all from the Nick Zito barn. Never fires first time out, Nick Zito's. And this horse literally missed the break completely, then rushed up to a 46 pace and was able to hold on later in that race as well. So I think eventually when we see this horse back at Saratoga, she is up here. She has worked over the track. She's one that you want to be using as well. All right, let's jump into the bets now. We got a couple. Well, I'll jump into my my horse bet here since we're on Saratoga, and then we'll talk a little bit baseball as both of the Haltermans heading over to baseball. My best bet of the day, I'm actually going to go to the 6th race, 2-year-old maiden special rate. I'm going to go on a 5-1 shot that drew in here. Give me the 11 horse. Give me the 11 horse here, Banterra for the Steve Asmussen barn. This one's really interesting for a couple reasons. First off, workout reports, this horse is working very well, so that's a positive. You have to dig a little bit. It's been working with a horse called High Class. High Class is another horse out of the Asmussen barn that has not started yet, but had back-to-back bullets at Keeneland before coming to Saratoga. And who does they work with? Works with the 11, Banterra, and Banterra significantly outworks High Class. So you've got a horse that's working just its skin off at Keeneland, comes to Saratoga and gets outworked by this 11 horse you're getting 5-1 on in the morning line. On top of that, Practical Joke, 18% first time out sire. So love the fact we have Practical Joke as the sire. The dam is Sweet Queen. Sweet Queen, stakes winning dam, won her first start as well at Del Mar, going 6 furlongs over the dirt. So you've got a precocious family on the bottom. You've got a precocious family on the top. You've got a horse that's working extremely well. Asmussen doesn't have a big chain up here. The fact that this one came up here, I think, is a good sign as well. It's a tough race. We're going to get every bit of the 5-1, but I think this is one of those horses where if you can use this as a separator in the pick 5, pick 4, pick 6, wherever it is, or bet this horse to win, you're going to get a nice price on it. So I'm going to go the 11 horse, race 6, Banterra at 5-1.
Listen, he's excited about this one. He texted me as soon as the scratches came out and said, "Hey, 11 drew into the 6th race." I was like, "Great," and then I looked, I was like, "Okay." So yeah, I get it. Listen, like you said, you're going to get every bit of 5-1. The horse wins. We're going to have a winning week on this show, and it's a really, really tough race. But again, you're getting the price. You like the horse. You think you've spotted a potential freak. So I'm there. I'm with you, man.
Let's get it home. Start out the week strong. All right, let's head over to baseball. Papa Dude mailing one in here, giving us the daddies, -135. I was positive either you or him were going to pick the Padres today. I joined you in the free picks on the site, by the way. Put all my baseball picks in. I'm going to try and do that here so I can show you guys up over there on the baseball side. Padres, I thought, were one of those picks you kind of had to take. This is a great pitching matchup for San Diego. These games, I think both of your games start early. Is that right? I think they're both like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock starts. A lot of early baseball games today.
Yeah, and he kind of took mine. I wanted the Padres. I looked at it all. I said, "Oh yeah, that looks good." But yeah, he went ahead and took them. So yeah, and I think he said it. He loved the pitching matchup too. So
yeah.
It's one of those. It's really one of those ones where I looked at it and was quickly like, "Yeah, that's going to be a win."
So hopefully we can get the Padres home. I might have a couple coins on them already as well for myself. Aaron, you headed to the Diamond as well. Tell us about the Rays -120 today.
I like the pitching matchup for the Rays as well, and they're at Baltimore. Baltimore playing awfully well the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season, but I just don't think the Rays are going to drop another one here. They've dropped 4 in a row. I really like Rasmussen, who's going to pitch for them. I think they're just going to bounce back and get a win. This is a really, I mean, it's the best division in baseball. You talk about the Yankees, you talk about the Red Sox have been sucking lately, but the Rays,
the Orioles have been rolling.
The Orioles have been really, really good. I just have a feeling this is a little bit of Tampa's due to win. The Orioles are due to lose. And like I said, the pitching matchup really goes in the favor of Tampa Bay today. So I'm going to take a shot with the Rays -120. I thought that was a good enough line. to give it a shot, and I think they're going to win the third game of the series here.
I like it, man. I like the price too. Like you said, minus 120. I think there is the key. Again, with these baseball games, if you're going to lock them in, make sure you check it out early here. A lot of games early today as it's a get-out day before the weekend series starts. So there's a lot of travel days for baseball teams here. All right, let's jump into the picks here. Going for our third straight winning week. Let's see if we can pull it off here. Papa Dude starting out with the Padres, minus 135. Aaron headed over to Tampa Bay, taking the Rays, minus 120. And I'm going to take a swing with the number 11 horse in the 6th race, Banterra, 5-1 on the morning line, first-time starter. Hopefully we can have a big day and kick off the week right. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you guys tomorrow, noon Eastern, for Dudes Who Bet Daily.